Hey, how's it going, everybody? Welcome to today's webinar. Today is a very interesting topic for most or a lot of people, and it's the top 10 marketing mistakes that we a lot of times will find people making in their marketing, or just even if it's not what they're doing, just the mindset, the mentality of, oh, I thought this was XYZ, or I thought this meant that, or, I was so focused on this that I wasn't thinking outside of that. And so, there's a lot of different things we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about the 10 items. There's more than that. Okay. There's a lot more than that we see, but these seem to be the consistent pattern that we see when we're starting to work with clients or when we're doing our marketing analysis calls with people. So we just want to have this, or pass this information along to you guys so that you're well informed and that you can kind of double click on what you're doing and maybe on your views of marketing and see if this is something, that can be of benefit to you. So these are not in a certain order. They're just 10 mistakes that we see commonly being made. It's not not number one, number one isn't the biggest mistake. So, but we just wanted to clarify that before we began here. So, Lori, why don't you go ahead and kick it off? Let's talk about mistake number one.
All right. So mistake number one, and we see this a lot, is offices that are focusing their search engine optimization on their website, just being obsessed about, like, I got to get my website to page one of Google. And there's a lot of people, we see them spend thousands of dollars a month just on website SEO. Now, why is that a mistake?
Well, it's a mistake because SEO is not an overnight fix. SEO is there's multitude different factors that, weigh in on your total SEO score. Your website is one of them. Your citations or where you're listed online is another major component of that. Anywhere from like 13 to 16% is your online reputation. So, looking at, your Google My Business listing and, that when you do a Google search on Google's search engine and, you search for a certain medical specialist near me or medical practice near me, you're going to see the results, the Google Map results. You're actually going to see those before the number one ranked website is even shown on the page. In the order of ads, somebody who's paying for Google ads, then the Google Map, the people who are updating and keeping their Google My Business listing up to date, those will actually show before the number one ranked search engine optimized website.
It's so funny now, if you noticed, just within the last year, if you Google, like you said, like OB-GYN near me or whatever specialist near me, it used to be the websites were the top. Now you have to scroll past all the Google My Business. And so it's crazy when you see these offices, they're not that ranking your website number one isn't important. Yes, it is important, but a lot of these marketing companies don't tell people the importance of Google My Business.
Well, that's because a lot of them, that's all they do is SEO for websites specifically. They don't look at the other outlying factors that can have a big impact on your search engine optimization. And a lot of times when you think about that, it's like, you have to think of it in the eyes of a consumer. If you're a consumer, how do you search for things online? And how do you optimize? Because patients are searching for doctors online, okay? I know you're not a product, you're a person, but people are searching for your services, products that you offer, or services you offer. So you need to keep that in mind as you're looking at that. All right.
We go to number two. Okay, so the takeaway from number one is it's a lot more than just optimizing your website, okay? You got to think about Google My Business. Okay, so mistake number two is not paying attention to your online reputation.
Yeah.
This is huge.
Yeah. I touched on this. I mentioned this just in the first point here, or the first mistake, but not replying to reviews. You need to reply to reviews, both the positive and the negative reviews you need to reply to. You need to make it, so that people see that you're responsive. People are more likely to leave a review if they see that you actually see it and you're responsive to it. People are more likely to change a review if they see that you're responding to reviews and you're on top of that.
I think it shows you care too. Like, you know, I know if I saw a negative review for a doctor, but then I saw that they had replied in a professional way, that to me shows that they care about what people are saying versus just like ignoring it.
Yeah, yeah. The other, within this guideline, the other mistake we see that causes, people not paying attention to their online reputation is not asking for reviews. You need to be consistent about asking your patients for reviews. And they'll come in, and eventually they come in. We have what I feel is a much better way of doing that for clients, but reviews will come in, and you get the good, the bad, the ugly. And that's okay though. You want the good, the bad, the ugly, because you learn from those. You learn from the negative reviews on how to make your practice better, your systems and processes better, your staffing better. Everyone will be held to a higher level of accountability for their job and what they do within your office. If you're asking for reviews and your employees know there's a possibility that if I don't treat this patient right, they're going to go online and complain about my work. So it just helps hold everyone more accountable to what they're doing, and reinforces customer service among your staff.
The other thing too with online reviews, just thinking again of the consumer mindset. So let's say I tell you, Glenn, about this amazing doctor that I go to, and you're like, man, you're right. I need to go make an appointment. I haven't seen a doctor in a long time. So you're like, what's his name? And I tell you, you Google the guy. And
Yeah.
he's got 3 Google reviews with 3.8 stars. And everybody else in town's got 50 some reviews with over 4 stars. Are you actually going to call that guy? Probably not. So this is a huge place that I think people waste money on marketing, because they're driving traffic to Google ads and their website and their social media and all this stuff. And they've never looked at their online reputation, because that could be the bottleneck for your marketing, like why things aren't working. So, the moral of the story here is you gotta be proactive. You need to ask happy people to leave a review. You need to reply to reviews. You need to have a strategy. So, and I know we could have a whole conversation about just this, right?
Right. Oh, totally. And you mentioned to ask your happy patients. That is true, but I would open that up to all your patients. You may feel like it's risky. You may not love what you read. We never love to read negative reviews, right? However, you'll learn a lot from everything. So,
totally.
All right, let's get on to
number 3. And this is still kind of in the SEO realm, and that is not claiming all of your Google business listings. So tell me about that. Why is that a mistake, and what does that actually even mean?
Yeah, so out there, Google will create business listings for you. If you're a medical practice, you may have one for the different location, a different listing for your different locations. You may have your doctors tied to your business, and it'll say Dr. Smith at whatever practice, right? Or so the problem with that, well, let me back up. You want to make sure that if you go to those listings and you see the question, own this business, that means that you haven't claimed it. You're not managing that listing. Why this is a problem is that, you want to have all your reviews, or most all of your reviews, coming into one source. You don't want to dilute the power of your Google My Business listing by having 10 different listings for your office. So you can merge different listings together. If we ran into a scenario just this week where we realized there was a rogue Google listing created for one of our clients that they no longer are there. So it's the wrong address, it's the wrong phone number. So if I'm a patient and I'm a new patient coming to the office and I'm running, it's the morning of my appointment, it's 8:50, and I know I live somewhere near 10 minutes away from the office, and I look up real quick Google Map to get directions, and it's the wrong listing. It's that rogue listing that isn't claimed, and it has the incorrect information, and I get directions to there.
I've had that happen, and it ticked me off. It's like, I just drove to the wrong place. Are you kidding me? Or like, somebody retired and isn't at the practice anymore, or a doctor left, or you have a new doctor that's there that when someone Googles them, it's still sending them to their old practice. So it's shocking sometimes how many people have never claimed all of their Google listings. So
Yeah,
yeah, that's a huge one, I think. So
absolutely. All
um,
right, number
all right,
4.
number 4, not understanding the social media algorithms. Yes,
I,
this is a big one.
this is a big one where we could spend about 2 hours on, but for the sake of this call, or this webinar, and what the message we're trying to deliver here is, listen, when it comes to social media, it's all about the big E. All right, the big engagement. That's what you should be shooting for. So you need to be creating the content that your clients will like, that they're going to engage with, they're going to share, they're going to comment on the post. um, there's just a number of things, that, I know, Lori, you wanted to talk about sourcing your social media, and, the precaution or the warnings that we would give somebody when you are outsourcing. And hey, this is coming from a company that we are an outsourced resource for people to post on your social media for you. So just listen here to what Lori is going to talk about. I think it's super important.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of companies that'll be like, hey, don't worry, Dr. Smith, we'll do all your social media. And they just put a bunch of stock photos up, or it's a bunch of like real salesy stuff. And then the doctors think social media doesn't work. And that's not true. Social media is meant to be social, okay? It's not for selling. So you need to make sure that whatever company you work with, that they are going to get to know you and your brand. They're going to make sure that there's personal content that's going to be on your page. I know one of the things we do to try to help our clients like make it really easy for engagement is we have what we call our little selfie signs. So our clients get these in the mail every quarter, different signs that they can hold up, and hey, it's them, like, hey, Dr. Smith, like us on Facebook and Instagram. Those type of posts get a lot of comments. So if you kind of think about it, you want to make sure that they understand the algorithm of social media. So put the engaging post up on Monday, and then maybe more of your educational, about your device or a treatment that you offer on Tuesday, and then a testimonial and inspirational quotes. It's not just about hiring a company to put stock photos up and run ads. I think that's a huge mistake. And that's one of the things I think, little self kudos here, but I think our team is the best in the business in social media and understanding that creating that personal social connection with our clients and their audience.
Well, not only that, but I mean, when you look at Medical Marketing Whiz, and our goal when Lori and I first started this business is, we understand your business, we understand your practice, we understand the experiences we've had leading up to forming Medical Marketing Whiz made us form Medical Marketing Whiz. We saw a gap, we saw a falling short of marketing in the medical world, and so, yeah, that's something super important to, realize. And the other thing I wanted to add to that, Lori, too, is when you're putting in information or sharing content in your Facebook page or on your page, it's always best if you can refer them back to your website. Keeping them within your, I don't know what word I'm looking for, but just keeping them with you, not sending them, if you find an interesting post in a journal or something like that, hopefully maybe you can have a blog about that content. So
yeah,
then,
on your website, don't send them to somebody else's website. Now
don't
you're
have a link to another
it's
website.
like the opposite of what you should do. You're supposed to be driving traffic to you,
Yes.
not sharing everything from another site, which now drives people off of your page,
Right.
away from your business. So that's actually a really good point. I'm glad you brought up.
Yeah, and I feel like this is from 10 mistakes to 101 mistakes, like that. this conversation could move like that. So, all right, so let's get on to number 5.
Okay, so this is trying to be on way too many social media platforms at the same time. Like we see offices, it's like they got a Facebook and an Instagram and a YouTube and a Twitter and a, Snapchat, and they're doing TikToks, and it's like, whoa.
Yeah.
So
it's saying, Lori, jack of all trades, master of none, right?
Yeah, and then, like we were saying, they don't understand the algorithms. Each of these has a different way that they work. So there's no way to be on 5 platforms and understand all the different algorithms of how each of these platforms work. So,
Well, not only that, I mean, think about it. Is your patients aren't on every platform. What you need to look at is who is your patient avatar? Who is your ideal patient? How old are they? What are their interests? That you need to coincide and line that up with what platform you're focusing your social media efforts on. A millennial, for example, you don't want to be all about Facebook if your ideal client is in the 20-something-year-old range, age range, and that's who you're trying to attract, because they're not going to be on Facebook. They're going to be on Instagram. So you need to go and, you know, be where they are, have a presence at where they are.
yeah, same thing. Like we'll see doctors will say, who's your ideal patient? And they're like trying to attract 45 plus, that patient may be more on Facebook. So
Mm-hmm.
I think Facebook and Instagram are probably the two most important for doctors. But again, you have to know who your avatar is and maybe take a deeper dive into the one platform that your avatar is in. Learn that and then add those secondary and additional platforms.
Yeah, I think
So
that's important. And there is a difference between the business running of a social media platform and a personal running. We'll see this, and this is another mistake. Sorry, I keep adding mistakes to this conversation, but having a employee who's great on social media on their own run your business platform. Did you mention that one already, Lori?
no, but that's huge. And we see that all the time. It's like, oh, my niece, she's helping us with our social media. And then like my skin cart starts to crawl just because that gal might be awesome at her own selfies and all of that. But do they understand how to use it for business? It's two totally different things. And that's really where I think money wise and time wise, if you're looking for like how to be the most effective business wise in attracting your ideal patients, like you have to have someone that knows what they're doing from a business standpoint. So, and I happen to know 2 people that do know that here on this call. So,
Who would that be? No. All right, let's get rolling here. Number 6.
Right. Number 6, paying for ads. Okay. But never nurturing those leads. So what does that mean?
Yeah, so that would be, paying for ads is not the ultimate solution, right? When you pay for an ad, it takes focus, it takes understanding of who you're trying to attract, what are their pain points, doing all of that research before even running the ad needs to be done. But the nurture campaign specifically is you have to nurture these people who are what we in the marketing or sales world would call cold leads, right? They're coming in, they're probably lukewarm if now they're warm if they've opted into what your offer is, because it's starting to trigger a pain point, or it brought their attention to it because they struggle with it, right? But you can't assume to then be able to pick up the phone and call a warm lead and expect them to know you, trust you enough to come in and schedule a consultation and or spend a lot of money with one of the procedures that you offer. So
don't we see that all the time? It's
unfortunately we do. Yeah.
I can see, I had a call with a doctor a week or 2 ago, and he was telling me about his old marketing company was helping him try to get leads for cool sculpting. And they were running ads and they were getting him this, hey, Dr. So-and-so, here's your list. And he starts calling him and people are hanging up on him. Like, why are you calling me? And it's like, that's like taking someone on a date and asking them to marry you on the very first date. Like, they're not going to marry you. Like, you have to warm them up.
Kevin? What do you mean?
No. Took him he had to nurture for 4 years. But no, that's why people miss the point. Yes, that's a great lead. That's the top of your funnel. You need to nurture that lead. And that's where email marketing and automation is super powerful, where you can take that person through that journey of understanding why you're the expert, all the different services that you offer, and turn that cold lead into a warm lead relatively quickly through email marketing. I know that's something that we've seen a ton of success with. So.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you keep in mind it, it takes a minimum of 7 exposures for people to really start hearing your message and understanding it. It can be shorter than that. It really can, but on average, it's going to be 7 times people seeing or hearing about you, and in a way that's gaining trust, forming a relationship. That's what you're shooting for in that nurturing campaign. Okay, number 7.
All right, number 7 is assuming that your current patients know everything that you do.
They don't?
People think they do. They're like, man, it's on my website. I got brochures around the office. I've got this and this. And it's like, they don't realize, like, the patient's coming in for their one thing. They don't know everything that you do.
Mm-mm.
And
No.
so the other thing too is, well, I guess that's number 8. I won't get ahead of myself, but
Don't jump ahead there yet. We'll get there.
It is just important that they are educated. And that's, again, where I think email marketing, I think social media, these are all ways that you can help showcase some of the other things that you do, and really, like, why are you the expert? What type of results can you get people? Email marketing and social media are, I think, 2 of the best ways, just to make sure, and some doctors too, like, patients might only come in once a year.
Right.
If you're a gynecologist, that patient might only be there once per year for her annual visit. And then in that year, you've added this service and this service and this service. She's not going to know about it till you come back in. So that's where you've got to, nurture them, like some kind of an email newsletter every month, making sure, again, you're personally on social media, showcasing those things, I think is huge as far as, and cost wise, it's so much more cost effective to market to these people that are within your practice. So now they already know, like, and trust you.
Right.
So that's a huge thing. And it kind of leads us to number 8, which is, and we see this again a lot, they're just doctors who are just obsessed with new patients. Like, all of their marketing is just about getting new patients.
Yeah. And
why is that a mistake?
Well, it's not always. The only time it's not a mistake is if you are a brand new practice. Then that's all you've got. That's what you're building your practice on, is new patients. But that probably doesn't apply to more than 5% of our clients, 10% of our clients. I don't know the exact number there. So, but yeah, obsessing only about getting new patients. New patients, number one, they take longer to acquire. They're 11 times more expensive to acquire than marketing to your existing patients. And it's just a longer road. It's just, it's one of those things that if your existing patients don't know everything that you do, then you're missing out on so much, because chances are your existing patients are going somewhere else to get a service when they would gladly come to you, but they don't know that you do that service or you provide that service. So I think that's a big thing. One of the big reasons and educating points that we make with new clients is, listen, it's not all about new patients. We need to also, re-warm up, or just warm up your existing patients.
It's funny. There's one doctor that comes to mind that I'm thinking of that,
don't say their name.
I won't say their name, but when I did a marketing strategy call with them, when they told me how much they were spending on marketing per month, my mouth about hit the floor.
Yeah, I remember you calling.
I asked them, how many emails do you have? How many patients are in your database? And they had like 15,000 emails in their database, and they'd never done any email marketing. I was like, hold up. You are going to save so much money on your, I said, you don't have a leads problem.
Right.
You have a leads problem. You have the leads. You just haven't nurtured those leads. And that's where people waste a ton of money. Like, they're just running Google ads and they haven't even sent an email newsletter to their existing patients, which, for the most part, email marketing is very, in some cases it's free, but in a lot of cases it's, a fraction of a penny on the dollar as compared to what these other, more cold outreach marketing is. So just make sure that you are not forgetting the people within your practice. And yes, new patients are good and new patients are the goal, but at the end of the day, it's, how many more procedures are you doing, and how many, how many repeat customers are you having? And a lot of that can come within your own practice as well.
Yeah.
So, all right, number nine marketing mistake, just doing one event per year. Or on the flip side, I've literally talked to offices. I'm like, so do you do events? And they're like, yeah, we do one every month. And I was like, oh, so, either just doing hardly any, one per year, or you're like doing them so much that I can't imagine that they really get that many people to show up, because you barely have time to market it if you're doing them every single month. So what do
Yeah.
you think is the sweet spot as far as events, whether it's a virtual event or an in-office event or webinar?
So what we have concluded, that's a strong word, concluded, right? As the sweet spot would be a quarterly event. All right. When you look at your marketing, you should be picking, a certain number, anywhere from maybe 3, 4, maybe 5 different products or services that you want to focus on each quarter. All your marketing, or the majority, 80% of your marketing, should be focused on those core products that you want to focus on. That just helps align everything. So your event should be aligned with the procedures that would involve those products. That's where a lot of people make mistakes, is they're switching up too frequently.
Yeah,
And
they do it every month. Like, this is our
yeah,
special this month, and this is our special this month. And it's like,
it causes confusion among the staff, and a patient would ask on the way to to be treated, hey, what's going on this month special wise? And your employee's probably like, shoot, what is it? I'll check and go and get back to you.
yeah,
Whereas
quarterly seems to be a lot more focused. I would
it
agree.
does, yeah. And even for events, I mean, when we market for our clients for events, it's what, an 8 to 10 week process to do it properly.
Yeah,
um
and that's how we can get hundreds and hundreds of people to sign up, because
right,
you have to give yourself enough time. And
right,
that's why I think the smaller, more frequent events, like you said, like once per quarter, are a lot more effective than the one
right.
that some offices just do like one client appreciation event, and that one might be really busy, and then the whole rest of the year is kind of slow. So you give yourself enough time to market your events. I think an 8-week timeline for kind of planning and marketing your event is a good target that allows you to get that message in front of people. You don't want to say, hey, I'm doing an event in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
You're not going to have enough time to market it, and then you're going to be disappointed with the results that you get. So,
And then you're gonna say, oh, events don't work. I've done events and it really didn't work. I only had maybe 2 people show up. And yeah, we've heard it. We've heard them. We've heard the I don't like event stories. But truly, if it's done correctly, if you're getting your staff involved, getting them to be a part of something to do with the event, that helps out big time. So that would be another mistake we see, is right, people not involving their staff and giving
yeah.
each of their staff members a role in the event.
In the
Um,
events, I mean, we do a lot of work with offices that have different devices that they're trying to pay off, or a new training that they went to and they want to start doing more surgical procedures. It's the fastest way to pay this stuff off.
sure.
So it's not a nice to do, it's a need to do, especially if you want to have ROI quickly. And the cool thing now, there's so many different ways to do events now too, which actually leads me to number 10,
Oh, I
drum
like that
roll.
saying. That
So
was
this
awesome.
is our 10th mistake, and that is not having a virtual option for events,
Yeah,
right?
right. Yeah, that's a big mistake. Virtual events, a year ago, we probably would have been like, oh, virtual events. I don't get how that would work. People wouldn't attend this and that. Well, we all know what's happened and since then that has caused people to accept more virtual type things, and all the happenings and how that's evolved into the acceptance of Zoom calls and Zoom meetings and Google Hangouts or whatever platform it is you use, right? But um, virtual events, you can actually reach more people in a virtual event than what you could accommodate at your office or in your office, in your waiting room. So that's an advantage of a virtual event. It's something that you can turn into a much longer event. Would you agree, Lori? Instead
Yeah.
of just one evening, you can spread that event, this event special pricing, whatever that may be. You can
For
spread that out.
webinars too. Webinars have been really good.
Right?
I mean, those are cool because you can do them. I mean, you could do them live, but we've seen a ton of success with like an evergreen webinar, which people can watch it at whenever is convenient for them, and you just get consistent leads coming in. So that's
Yeah,
been huge, I think. And I really see the virtual event piece is going to get, it's going to get even more popular. I think, like you said, people are more accustomed to it. And I think that honestly, it's made us all step out of our comfort zones, right? We're doing things differently, but I think it's actually a good thing. I think that you're not confined to a certain day and time, you know, or people that are available. You can reach a huge audience and you can still collect those leads. And we've seen really strong results for those online events. So I definitely encourage you guys, make sure you do have some kind of virtual option for your events. Don't give up on events.
no, no, don't
Those
give
are
up on
important.
events. They're good. They're good.
So
All right.
cool. Well, this was fun. I feel like we could do mistakes on each one of these topics, and maybe that's like a coming attraction, taking a deeper dive into some of these. But
Yeah,
yeah,
let us know. Give us your feedback, guys. If you want more mistakes, because I think it can all hit with us, or each of us are making mistakes. But if you want more marketing mistakes or tips, let us know. Um,
and
and
then
yeah,
how do we help people like fix these, like, you know, because everybody's kind of, I'm sure everybody can relate to one, some, or all of these that we've talked about here today. And so, you know, rather than telling you how to fix all of these on it, it's really unique to every practice.
totally.
So one of the things that we really encourage you guys to do is take advantage of our free strategy calls. We do these and we open up our calendar, especially for those of you that have been on these webinars with us. I think you're personally crazy if you don't take advantage of that. There's no cost. You don't, you know, there's not a hard sales pitch or anything like that. It's really to help you specifically get, you know, answers to how to fix some of these problems that you may have.
So you heard it there live. Lori is calling y'all crazy if you don't take advantage of this. So.
Call me crazy, but I'm calling you crazy.
All right, guys. Well, it was great talking to you, and
Yeah, and make sure you guys join our Facebook group if you haven't already. It's go to the Medical Marketing Whiz Facebook page, click groups. It's called the Doctor Marketing Blueprint Facebook group. You can request to join. You do not need to be a client to be in that group. And then we'll also make sure to include in the replay here a link of how you can schedule that strategy call. You can actually just go to our website, medicalmarketingwiz.com, and you can, right on the homepage, you can schedule it there. But we'll include a link also to make it easy for you guys.
all right. We'll talk to you guys later. Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.